he like benefits it. We do that.
And we are live, folks. Welcome to the Sit Down Standard, the podcast celebrating all the amazing things you can do while sitting, whether it's enjoying movies, watching television, or playing games. I'm one of your hosts, David Bram, joined as always by Gerald Bales.
Hi.
Jordan Peterson.
That's Mr. Jordan Peterson to you.
And Brandon Peterson.
Hey.
We didn't
Brandon.
have...
What?
The family.
You got to keep up the family thing.
It's Mr. Brandon Peterson
Mr.
to
Brandon
you.
Peterson to you. I'm sorry.
So you missed last week, so we had to bring on two Petersons
All
to
right.
make up for it.
Double
I was
down.
going to say that if you weren't here this week, I was going to carry the torch for you,
Yeah.
but then you
You're supposed
showed
to- no,
up.
You're supposed to do it. Yeah.
Ruined it.
I'm sorry.
All right, so before we get into anything, we always want to tell everybody, if you're listening to the audio version, go to YouTube. You can search Sit Down Standard on YouTube, or we'll put some show notes. I'll put it in the show notes. I love doing show notes.
Yeah, you
notes.
How long are they these days?
They're shorter.
Like cold pages now. Yeah.
They used to get so mad at me because I would make like a transcript of.
The show notes would literally be everything we talked about.
But we do video podcasts. You can also check us out on Periscope because we do a live broadcast of the podcast every week. This week we did a Q&A before we found out In-N-Out versus Fatburger. If you're on the West Coast, I don't know if In-N-Out's on the East Coast yet.
I think it's trickling out. Yeah.
Yeah, slowly but surely. But before we get into anything else, we start with the same thing we start with every week. What you doing? What you doing? What you doing? Ba-da-da-da-da.
Wow. How did we allow you to make singing part of the show? I don't know how. He said he was going to. Somehow he did it.
I did it.
You guys
Slowly.
didn't fight back till too late.
I know.
No, I just roll my eyes every week.
At first, it was like, yeah, I don't know. He snuck it in. Good job. Touche,
then he got you
my
to
friend.
participate. There were
Touche.
maracas on an
I
episode.
know.
I'm an
I know.
avid listener. I know.
All right. We'll start with Gerald. Gerald, what you doing?
What am I doing this week? A couple things. Today was the Halo World Championship.
Oh,
If anybody cares about esports, anybody?
I do.
Anybody?
I mean,
No?
it's fun to watch. I think it's the commentators are like, if they didn't have the commentators, I'd be like, what's going on?
Well, yeah, just be people screaming. Yeah, these people scream at each
Yeah,
other when
they
they
do.
play. They cut like to the team mics. There's like, it's crazy. I'm just like, I just want to play Halo.
It's fun to
Lot of
see.
talk about mothers. I feel like
They are like surprisingly filtered, but they do cuss and stuff.
Yeah.
But not, the typical Halo 2, Xbox Live stuff.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But anyway, it's really cool. It's the biggest prize in console esport history.
And how much is it?
The total prize pool is $2.5 million.
That's ridiculous.
And the winner got $1 million.
How old was he?
They were kids. They were like
8.5
younger
years
than
old.
us.
That's why I don't participate. I want to keep being beat by a 9-year-old private.
Yeah.
They weren't that young. There was one team that lost in the semifinals yesterday. That was, that were all really young kids. But the team that won, they were all like maybe our age, like 23 to 30.
Gotcha. Well, we always talk about this. When you turn 24, statistics show that your gaming skills progressively get worse and worse and worse. So
because you got jobs and kids and wives and stuff to do. So like it should. If it gets better, there's like you need to question your life.
Yeah, but
out
these
of your
people,
parents'
they want $1 million playing a video game. Like they're
I'm
better
just-
off than I am at this
No,
point.
I'm
so.
just saying though. You got other things to focus on when you're at
That's
past
true.
24. I don't know. At least you should be.
what
Yeah.
kind of matches are they? Are they team matches where it's like...
So it's a best of 7.
Okay.
The semifinals and the finals are, and they switch between Slayer and then objective based, Slayer, objective based, Slayer, objective based. So it was, I think, Slayer, Stronghold, Slayer, CTF.
Gotcha. It's fun to watch them how they call out to each. Like it's literally like, all right, Tango 7.
Yeah, every area in the map has like a name to it. Hallway 2, hallway 2. He's there in hallway 2, like
Yeah.
something like that.
You'd think that like military people would have this like down. They wouldn't even, you know what I mean? Like some ex-military folk, like they should
No,
have
like,
all the
I
strategies and
it's
stuff.
a lot different.
It's not you. They still have to manipulate a joystick. They're working with...
Yeah, but don't they all just run drones around anyway with joysticks?
Maybe.
I don't know.
We'd
That's
like
true.
to apologize to the military. on behalf of
That's all you do, right? It's like a video game when you fly those drones. Right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. They just sit there with them.
So they're done though, right?
Yeah, this was the finals, and then it goes into like the next season, to qualify and all that kind of stuff. But it was kind of a very uneventful match. The best of 7, and the team won 4-0. So
Oof.
spanked the other team. Yeah, and this was the team that won was the highest seeded team in the whole competition, so they were seen to win.
That sucks.
What
Yeah,
country?
it was fun. They were both USA teams.
USA. If we're good at anything, it's playing video
Sitting on our
games.
asses.
A whole show called Sit Down.
Exactly. We are living proof.
So that was cool to watch. It's cool to see these big games. Obviously, it was sponsored by Microsoft too. So
Of course.
if it wasn't sponsored by Microsoft, you probably wouldn't see the big prize pool. But they're getting the game out there. It's cool. It's fun.
Anything else?
I played the Division more, guys. If you guys
They
remember from
weren't
last
here
week.
last week. Yeah.
No, I listened to it though. I listened. That sounded cool.
Yes,
I've
it
heard
is
a lot
cool.
of I've heard a lot of mixed stuff about this because I saw some of the reviews. Some people love it. Some people are kind of hating on it. They say it's like you talked about where
I talked about the same
It's
thing
grindy.
last week. Yeah, it's grindy, just like any other kind of MMO-like game is.
This is the Tom Clancy game?
Yeah, I wanted to disagree with your thing that
I did as well.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to disagree with
ahead,
your
brother.
idea that there was like 10 or 20% people getting to the end game. I don't.
You really think it's more?
I definitely think it's more.
because the end game isn't like, it's not like the end of the story. Like the end game is like that's like the whole point of the game is to get that to that area so you've completed everything.
You really what percentage would
play
you
it.
assign to it though?
I'd say it'd be closer to like 60-70% people.
So
who
the
actually,
the
people
op-
who
the
want to
inverse?
play that kind of game.
I don't think
Well,
it's
like now in release, because it's only been out like a week and a half.
no, I'm saying that we'll get there
over the
And
course
they're
of the
gonna-
life of the
yeah,
game.
definitely. 'Cause that's
Yeah,
the whole
it's
point
like
of the
World
game.
of Warcraft and stuff. And what they'll do is at a certain point, once they extend it, they'll be like, okay, you start with a free level 80 character.
Okay,
They'll
well,
do
you
that
can't-
kind of stuff. You can play, so you can get right to the end game stuff. That's what they're developing for,
Mm-hmm.
and they spend a lot of time in developing that stuff. And that's why you have to grind to get there, because that's where they took a lot of time to put into this end game. Like,
But you'll agree with me, the idea of like you have to do something unfun to get to the fun is the most ridiculous idea of, you know what I mean? Like that's what you do when you're, that's what, like I said, I was saying that's what I do I have a job. I do unfun things. If you're watching Job, it's very fun. No,
Nobody's watching.
And then, and you do that so you can go do fun things like play video games. Whereas in the video game, they're like, but I also understand if you make things difficult and then the reward is that much greater. But it frustrates me with
plus
the grinding.
sometimes I like grinding.
I don't.
You know what? It's the satisfaction of like when you go and you grind and then you come back and you just smash the guy that killed you earlier. That feels so
It
good.
depends what you define by grind, because grind in this game isn't really that bad. There's like the dark zone you can grind for better
The dank
gear.
zone.
The dank zone is like, oh, that's me. You can grind for better gear, but it's always self-fulfilling. You're always getting to that higher level of the
Right.
dark zone.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're shooting at a cave, loot cave.
Yeah.
Speaking of, there's a new loot cave in this game.
Everyone's got to find an exploit in the game.
So a game really similar to this, you guys don't know, is Destiny. Dave and I played a lot. You guys are probably familiar with it.
Yeah.
And back in the early iteration, there was something called the loot cave. And what you would do is enemies would spawn in this cave, and you just sit there just enough distance away till they spawn, shoot, and then gear pops up, and you just rinse, repeat.
Yeah, you run into the cave, pick up the stuff, run back far enough so that the game resets. They eventually figured it out.
They
took
patched
away.
it, yeah, took it away. So in this game, kind of same kind of concept. You exit a safe house, and right down the street from the safe house, they're called unique bosses. They're like named a specific name, with 4 mobs. You kill the main guy, and as long as at least one of the mobs are alive afterwards, you let them kill you, and you reset the safe house and go back, and they're still there. And
Sounds like so much fun.
I don't know, man. It's the best way to farm end game currency. It's the best way to farm Superior, which are like the second to highest.
But
item
we were
class.
just talking about that with Red Dead Redemption.
We didn't get into it because we wanted to save it for the cast. But
Yeah.
how do you guys feel about broken pieces of a game and exploiting it?
I don't mind it. The problem is if your game is fun enough, then those things don't have as much need or want from the player. You know what I mean? Like if the ramping up of your game, the pacing of your game is really what it is. Being able to be rewarded with better loot or better guns, and it's in course with the difficulty of the bad guy. And you always feel, like I said, I always think a good game is that sense that you're about to die, but you never do die. Some people will obviously disagree with me because, like, Dark Souls is super popular, Super Meat Boy. There's tons of games where it's constantly
die,
figure it out.
Memorize it, right?
Yeah. But when I see stuff like this, and then usually the developer will pull it away.
Yeah, it's going to be a patch any day now.
'Cause it breaks
it's
the
been out
game.
for a couple games, yeah. Because even when the game first came out, there was a certain route you can take in the Dark Zone to farm a lot of Phoenix credits, which is the the end-game currency of the game to buy the best blueprints for the gear. And they already nerfed that. So the Phoenix credits drop rate is a lot lower. The high end, which are like the legendary drops in the game, were a lot higher in Dark Zone. They nerfed that as well because people were getting geared, 2 days into the game coming out. They had the best gear in the game.
Now, with the Red Dead example that you're talking about, that's a little bit different, though, because we use the skill that we have, and you had to play poker. I think it was Texas Hold'em poker in the game. To get more currency, you would gamble. Texas Hold'em is fun in and of itself. Now, it's weird that we're playing it within another. I always love when there's games inside games. It's always freaking Inception. But that requires you not to just continually shoot at an enemy that's going to constantly respawn. You have to use the skill that you understand
Of
from the
Texas
game
Hold'em,
of Texas Hold'em. Now, I don't know if that's breaking the game, but
when you're taking
you're taking advantage.
You're taking advantage of the game, and then you basically just destroy it. And I played a game, X-Men Legends.
Yes,
and
I remember that
found a guy that you could kill, and I had a guy strong enough to kill him in one punch. And this person gave you tons of experience, and you could do it over and over again. So I'd just keep going and playing that mission. I'd kill the one girl, take it, and then leave the mission, and then go back and forth. And then I could kill anybody in the game in one punch with Colossus. And it was awesome. And I loved it, but it totally broke the game. I ended up never finishing it because I was just like, well,
It's not a game
it
anymore.
was super fun for a while, and then it's just like, okay, I don't care because I just like destroy everything. And I can see the fun. Like you're saying, if your game's good enough, it's always fun to just be super powerful. Like even if your game is perfect, if you can like just smash people, it's just a good time. But it does break the game, so I kind of don't like to do it. I don't know. It's just like using cheat codes.
That's what I was gonna say.
Exactly,
Cheat
like
codes
using
are the
cheat codes,
exact same thing. Did you ever play? Like you guys both played Warcraft, right?
No.
Warcraft
2?
The RTS?
Oh,
The RTS, not World of Warcraft.
Oh, yeah.
We used to play against each other, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I remember typing in codes and then I would never finish it. Like, because what's the point?
Right. Yeah. So when I go back and play now, I do it without codes
Right.
because you want to challenge yourself. But back then, it's just being super like Age of Empires. I don't think I ever beat one official level because I just like do the code to get the Corvette.
Yeah,
There's a forge car, right? There's shot missiles or ballistic arrows.
Yeah, you're like fighting Indian tribes with your missile Corvette, like James Bond.
yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah. So
you make a whole bunch of them
but
too,
it
not
does-
just one.
Right. But it does destroy. I mean, it takes away the fun of the game at a certain point because you're not really getting the experience
Right.
of the game. You're just doing it. So I don't know if I like that.
I think in this instance, because the game is get better loot, get these credits, get better loot, I'm just doing it quicker. It definitely is breaking the game for sure, but it's not making my enjoyment of the game any less because I'm at that point of the game now where this is the game, is
Right.
getting that gear.
Right.
I did it for like 3 hours yesterday.
But that's part of that. That's why those games are that. I think generally I just don't enjoy those types of games, I think.
Yeah.
Is
Me
there
personally.
more? I heard you guys talking about last week with Diablo 3. I played that one.
Diablo.
I actually played that one. What did I say? It right?
Diablo.
Diablo. Whatever.
Diablo. It's Lamborghini Diablo.
Shut up.
Diablo 3.
You can't say anything. Catched. But yeah, did you like that one? Did you like that?
Yeah, I played Diablo. I played Diablo 3 a lot with
Diablo.
actually the same buddies that I'm playing Destiny with now. But again, it gets to that point where it's
I
R&D and
played
stuff
through
like
it like twice, and I was like, seriously, this is it? And they were like, yeah, keep playing through it. And I was just like, no. Like,
That's my point.
they've done a lot since then, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Diablo 3 is a lot better game now, but I've moved on.
It was just only like 5 levels long. Like, I mean, when you beat it, I beat it at the lower
axe,
difficulty
yeah.
levels, and then went to a couple of the higher ones. And it's like it's fun, but why
I
not?
expect you to play the same game at higher difficulties to get better gear.
But like, how hard is it to just change the skin of a level, or like, and just make the map a little bit different?
They did it in
Funny,
Tom
they do
and
that
Jerry.
now. They
You
do
know-
that now in Diablo 3.
Oh, okay.
They have these things called rifts where you go in, it's just waves of enemies, and it's all different every single time.
Yeah, well, that's what they need to do from the start because they lost me. I don't play any Blizzard games. You want to know why? Because my account gets hacked constantly.
Get the
and then they-
authenticator, man.
Is that what that fixes that?
Yeah, I had the same thing.
That Gerald has the immediate solution
Yeah,
for your
okay,
problem.
right.
Oh, okay.
Always constantly get. I still get emails like your World of Warcraft account's going to be canceled. I'm like, how is it not already canceled? I've got like 100 warnings of selling stuff that I didn't sell. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, let's get the authenticator, solves that problem.
All right, I'll see what I can do.
But anyway, I think that's all I had for the division. Oh, met the friendliest player ever in the Dank Zone the other day. A buddy of mine, Alex, and I were playing. And the Dark Zone, if you don't remember, is it's a player versus player area, so they can shoot you and get your loot. But normally the cons of going rogue when you kill somebody and you die, the experience you get taken away from you and stuff is not really worth getting the loot. Anyway, but there was this guy we came across with, this southern guy, I don't know where he's from, and he was like the nicest guy ever. I've never met someone ever this nice in a multiplayer
That's
game.
funny.
And he was like, hey man, you guys just grinded loot? It's like, yeah, we're just grinding, no problem. He's like, hey man, we'll just party up. I'll show you the best routes and stuff. I got a high-end drop, which is like the legendary of the game. He's like, all right man, let's distract this gear, let's help him out, let's just escort him, get him to the loot so he can get his loot out of here.
Oh, that's cool.
Like the super nice guy. It's like you never see
refreshing.
that in multiplayer games
Refreshing.
I like
anymore.
that
So
with
you
the-
shot him in the head.
Of course not.
In the back, Captain.
World
In
of
the
Warcraft
back.
had that. Like I had there was like some 13-year-old. I was in college, some 13-year-old kid, and we played every single day together. It was like, yeah, it was super fun. And then occasionally you'd like, you're the Alliance, and there'd be like a Horde person, and you'd run into be like super high level. And like instead of killing you, they just like kill the bad guy you're fighting, and they
Yeah.
just help you out and just follow you around. Like it's awesome. It's fun.
That's the same thing with this guy. Like he had a higher DPS than we did, so he had better loot, but he was still just helping us out because we were
Yeah,
kind of
that's
new
cool.
to this stuff. And
because
yeah,
he's
it's super-
bored. He's
Maybe.
bored.
He did too much
He's like,
grinding,
hey,
yeah.
exactly. He took advantage of that.
I think that's
Cave.
for me. Yeah, Luke Cave. Jordan, what you been doing this week?
Well, I got done with my move, so my life is back to
What?
normal. I know. That's why I'm here. So that's awesome. So I actually got time to sit down and play a game. We played Time Stories.
Cool. I bet that's so
Sorry,
much fun.
It is. It's amazing.
It is an amazing
and
game.
amazingly frustrating.
We are, I would say, probably really close to the end. It feels like it because
So I can almost play it?
yeah, we have an
Yeah.
expansion that we'll get you in on the next game. So this we talked about this before, right? But the game is like it's Quantum Leap, I guess would be Quantum Leap the game.
Basically Quantum Leap. It's Quantum Leap point and click adventure, basically.
Yeah,
So and then each
Sounds amazing, actually.
It is really cool.
well, it's genius with the style of the game because they can just keep making additional ones. Because since you're like traveling
expansions
back
and
in
stuff,
time, yeah, I mean, there's nothing that's going to affect the future of the game. You know what I mean?
said they're cases,
just a
right?
new story
Yeah.
every single time. So this one, you're like people at a crazy house from like the 1920s.
And no replayability, though.
No, there's really not because it's like a point and click adventure. You learn the puzzles, and then at that point. But what's cool about the game is think of like Groundhog's Day, the movie. So obviously Bill Murray in that movie, he's like, all right, he starts counting things off because he's done the experience multiple times. So he's like 1, 2, 3. The guy turns around, he grabs the bag of money, and walks away because he knows the guy at that very moment turns around. So in this game, you investigate, you talk to people, you do different things because you're trying to solve this overall story mission, and you learn things. And then you learn things as you're doing the investigation and all those things. And then you get pulled back into the present, and then you do another run. And it's the exact same thing. So armed with the knowledge that you had during that previous run, you make different decisions and you do things quicker. And you know not to investigate this or to investigate that.
Right.
But the game knows that. That's what's so brilliant about the game. The game knows that you're doing that, and so it screws with your understanding of that concept tremendously.
Like the butterfly effect?
No, it's not a butterfly effect. It's one of those games. It's meta. It knows it's a game, and it knows what you've learned as a gamer through the course of your years playing board games and video games, and it plays on those understandings and tropes and messes with you. And it's
God, I hate you guys for playing this game.
It's a lot
so
of fun.
jealous, man.
I feel the same way. I'm like,
You guys should get together.
We'll
when we're
play
done.
without you guys.
we totally. I mean, I have no problem because
but
I
you guys
can't
won't
replay.
finish the dang game.
I know.
Well, I'm sorry. Every
That's the
time I
worst
get
part.
into a game, I have like a life event that comes up, and like I can't finish. Like as Imperial Soul, I had twins like in the middle of
Yeah,
like,
and then Ellie had a
7
kid. It's
missions
like,
in,
oh,
and now
never
Ellie
gonna-
has a kid, and we're never gonna finish
Never
that
gonna
game.
finish
maybe
So
someday.
yeah, well, I'm gonna slow down on the life events and get back to my board game playing. Sorry.
So yeah, you had made while we were playing this, you made a sheet of paper with a bunch of symbols and numbers on it, clues. And then as we had to go back because we had to get pulled back, we're going to do a new run. I took the sheet of paper
And
and
just
ripped
rips it
it up
up.
and threw it away. And he was trying to take photos of
Why?
the board. That's part of the game, your memorization.
Yeah, he's ridiculous.
It's like a detective.
And you know what's
if
I
you're a
went to
detective,
take-
you write notes on your
But,
pad.
Yeah, but
all
you're-
of your items.
You're like quantum leaped into this guy's body, so his piece of paper in his pocket. When you quantum leap
okay.
out, you're not in his body. You don't have your piece of
You
paper.
said it
makes
says it
sense.
in the instructions, right? That any notes you've taken have to be.
Yeah, anything that you have, items, any things, notes that you take, you have to get rid of
At the end of the.
at the end
I
of the
try to
run.
take a
So at least you can
pic-
keep it during the run.
I tried to take a picture of something, and he was like, it covered my phone up. And then, you know what? Then, like, the next thing is, what did that say? I was like, I don't know. Because I was trying to take a picture, and you took it away from me.
It's mental
We didn't have cell phones in 1920s, right?
I said
So
we could pretend it's like an old school, and I'm filling the powder up and lighting the flash.
it's a fantastic game, though.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I just picked up one that's called the Marcy case, so it takes place in the 80s. And there's like a
Cassette tape.
Yeah, cassette tape on the front of the
What?
box. It looks super cool. Just that alone.
Oh, I can play that, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
We can-
and
'cause
there's
it's-
no, like, it doesn't matter at all from one to the next.
No, it's a
except for that we'll
completely-
be a little more familiar with the
thank
style.
God.
and stuff.
Yeah, mechanics and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're familiar with any point-and-click adventure, you're familiar with mechanics. Sometimes like, we'll like say things, and then Alyssa's like, "How do you guys know that?" Because we played a million games like this, and so we know kind of.
I will
how
make
to go.
myself available. I don't care what's going on.
Okay, good to know.
Good, because we're doing it during your work day.
I don't care. I'll take time off work.
Does it have?
Speaking, go ahead.
Does it have stupid things like the point and click adventures where you have to get, oh, I need a wrench, and then you're like, oh, I found a toucan, and then
Well, no, it had one thing. Where, I don't want to give.
Yeah, you don't want to
anything away.
spoil
well,
anything.
there
I mean,
was, like,
you know what
one
I mean,
thing,
though, where
though-
it's just absurdities.
There's
where-
red herrings in the game.
There is definitely.
There's definitely red herrings. Like point and click adventures, like they'll give you something that you're like, clearly this is important, and then it's totally a red herring, and
Yeah.
and it knows that. So and that's not spoiling anything because that happens in point and click adventures. But then they know that you know that, and then they, you know what I mean? It's
Like, I'm not going to need this where you did need it.
Yeah,
It's
they know
super
that.
obtuse.
And the whole game is it's time based, hence the name Time Stories. But like, so you only have so many, times clicking by. You only have so much time in this
Oh,
environment.
interesting.
So like, you don't want to waste time doing stuff. So they'll be like, hey, I got something good for you. All you need to do is spend 3 days with me. And then you're like, oh, it could be good. Then they're like, oh, I'm sorry. And so it's just like, you just want to, but then you don't want to miss something. Like, that could be the clue of the game. You know what I mean? So it's this
sounds like so much
push
fun.
and pull.
But speaking of taking photos of the game, you took a photo with your new phone.
Oh, yes. My new awesome phone, Samsung Galaxy 7. S7, whatever.
I'm trying to get a sponsorship, dude.
Good job.
So,
Samsung.
this is the first thing I ever pre-ordered. It was awesome. I got it on the 8th, so I've had it for almost a couple weeks now. And it feels very similar to my old phone. So it's not like epic, but it's way faster. Like, the camera's amazing. Like, the speed of everything.
This is metal, your other one was plastic.
Oh, really?
Did you dunk it in water, or did you do like what is it,
No.
Lil Wayne, where he's pouring champagne all over
Yeah.
it? That's such a funny commercial.
No, I'm not going to test it.
Their marketing is really
test
top-notch
its
this time.
durability.
Remember when I
I'm
had
good.
that waterproof camera and you were like, it's not waterproof? I'm like, no, it's waterproof. And you're like, show me. And I had to put it in the sink
Yeah.
full of water.
I know, I didn't trust it.
It was.
It was, but I
It would have been a
blew his
funnier,
mind.
would have been a funnier story
You're
if
not
it
gonna-
wasn't.
You're not going to put your toe in that water, man. You're just going to, like, hopefully it'll
Yeah.
survive if something
It's like,
drops
yeah,
on
if
it.
I
love
drop it in the
that camera.
toilet, I'll pull it out and see if it works. That's about the only time I'm going to have
Yeah.
anything to do with it. But no, it's a really great phone. One of an anecdote about how much better this is than Apple.
Oh God, here we go.
My wife got the new Apple phone on the same day, and because she broke hers, and then we were transferring our stuff over. And I just, it came with the cable. I plugged into my own phone. I hit OK, and it just started transferring
Yeah, that
everything
is
over.
cool.
And then everything that was on my SD card, I just took it out, and I just put it in the new one. And I was like, man, that was 64 gigs of not having to transfer. This is amazing. And then she was like, how do I sync this with the cloud? What do I need to push? Oh, I need to log into iTunes. I don't understand why it's not syncing all my stuff. I had to spend like half hour getting all the photos to be recognized, because all it did was just took her photos, not the albums that she had in the cloud, and we had to mess with all these settings to eventually get it all in there. It was so much easier.
Doesn't sound like it was
on
set
the
up right to begin
Samsung
with.
Galaxy.
Because I went from my iPhone 6 to a 6S. All I do is sign in iCloud and it download all my stuff.
And that's very possible, but
The apps and
these
the
are,
icon
not
layouts.
everybody's an IT guy like us.
Maybe the FBI can get Apple to make a backdoor key to get your wife's stuff ported.
That's funny. Somebody at
Please,
work-
FBI, please.
Speaking, we wanted to find out, because you weren't on the last episode. We talked about the Apple versus
Yeah.
FBI. With you being the anti-Apple guy, are you?
Yeah, you heard my comment, right? I'm like, this is one thing
Yeah, I
Jordan
heard you.
has to side with Apple.
Yeah, I know, because the one thing I hate more than Apple is the man, and the FBI is definitely the man.
What is it? The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Right. Yeah. So I am siding with Apple on this one.
Yeah,
but I
we got
also-
him. We got him, Apple.
I'm not buying any of your merchandise though. But yeah, I can't side with FBI. Plus, it's total BS in my opinion. I think they could hack it easily. Like I heard,
We were talking about that too. It's like, how do they not have a team of just guys who can encrypt this, or if they decrypt it?
I heard an interview with like the ex-FBI leader of the FBI, and he was just like, "Yeah, well, all they need to do is ask the CIA. Like, no problem. Like
Yeah.
they're like done and done. They're like they just don't want to because they want to set legal precedents
Right.
and start gain more control and this and that, so they can do whatever they want and they don't have to hide where they got the information. They can just be like, "Oh yeah, we got it because we told them to give it to us." But no, they were like, "Yeah, the CIA can do this all day long. Like
Right.
no problem."
Yeah.
So it's just total crap, and I don't like the man getting in my business.
Good to know.
And the whole argument, like, should they be able to make something that is uncrackable? Yes.
Most definitely.
Yes, if you can make it, go make it, because you should be able to do whatever you want. It's America.
It's like asking if people should be able to keep safes in their house. Like, yeah, absolutely.
That's
you
what I
should
said.
be
If
able
you-
to have a safe.
They're like, that'd be like them saying, well, you have to make a safe with a key that the government has.
Right,
like,
right.
no, I don't. Like, sorry, that's not okay with
Right.
me. I should be able to store whatever private things I want in my safe. And I don't care if that's just letters from my grandmother. I don't care. That's none of your business. Like, it's just none of your business. You don't need access to every single piece of information so you can... What are they going to do with it anyway? It doesn't matter.
It's funny. I used to
all
work at a
nonsense.
bank with. They had a safe deposit box room. It's always like people would be like, "I'm here to open my safe deposit box. I need some private time." I'm like, "What's in there?" Every single
You
time.
always want to know, right?
Yeah, it's like, "What's in there?" It's like
The
probably
keys
just.
to their girlfriend's house. That's what's in there every time.
No, it's a bunch of passports and
No, it's all the things-
the movies I see.
Yeah, it's a bunch of
passports and money and a gun.
It's all right. It's all the things you're not supposed to. When you
Yeah.
sign that you're not allowed to put in there. It's
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Oh,
Priceless rubies, I think, is what I put in there.
A lot of people say like you're supposed to put your like social security card, your marriage certificate. I'm like, that's stuff you can get reprinted anyway. Like, what's the big deal about?
people are just, everyone's scared.
I guess.
I don't know. I've never
Steal my identity. I got like nothing. It's
You're
fine.
gonna give it back
It's like,
when you're
I
done.
don't even
Yeah.
want to be me. You don't want to be me.
That's what I think too. Like, you know, they say like it's like demand. If everything's out there, supply and demand. If everyone has my information, it's not valuable. So just like take it, everybody.
What's your social, Jordan?
Speaking of that, we were playing a video game online one time, and I was helping him with something. I think it was
signing me up for college.
That's what I was doing. That's the only reason Jordan went to college. I signed him up, and I was like,
I care.
and he's playing a video game online. He has a headset. And I was like, Jordan, I need your social. And he starts saying his social. And he's like, wait, this isn't online.
No, somebody on there was like, I know this guy's social now. I was like, whoops. Oopsies.
All right. Anything else?
What else? Not really. I mean, everything else I think we can go over a little bit later in the podcast. So, Brandon, what you doing?
Oh, nothing.
Absolutely
No,
nothing.
I have.
All right,
been, I have
Next
been
worst
off.
guest ever.
I have been off for 2 days, and
Yeah.
we picked up my trip for this week, so I'm off until Friday. I'm enjoying a nice 7-week mid-month vacay.
That's the one thing I hate about your job.
No, Brandon's like, he's like, I work so
Yeah, but
much.
do you get paid for
I
it?
work.
He's like, oh
No,
my God.
I don't get paid for it.
Oh.
But you know,
But still, though.
it's still a
he's
vacation in
like,
the middle of the
yeah.
month, and I worked in the first half and enough at the end that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you equate
Like, I
that.
made my money, and then the rest of it was just kind of extra. Like next month, I'm not gonna be rolling in the dough, but I got a week off. So.
Yeah, that's cool.
No, he'll literally call me up and be like, oh man, I'm just so exhausted. I worked like 80 hours this month. And I'm like, bro, that's 2
2
weeks
weeks,
of work.
man.
I worked 114 this month.
Woo! Man.
Rough. Almost 3 weeks.
It's a great job. Y'all shouldn't have gone to college.
I know.
I didn't go to college. I worked a great amount of time.
So anyways, what did you do with your time off?
What did I do? I played games with you and your lovely wife.
Oh,
Came
thanks.
over and shared the Zolkin Mayan calendar game with us.
Yeah, we all died in 2012. No, I'm just kidding. That's not the game.
Surprise.
Man.
It's,
Where's John Cusack when you
No,
need
it's a worker placement game.
it is a worker placement game, and I suck at it.
One of the few games we found that Brandon does not have the ability to immediately break it by being the best.
I usually win.
Yeah.
It's a Peterson trait.
Yeah, we're winners.
typically-
Whatever.
We're winners.
him? Whatever.
We can typically zone in on what is the best,
I
or
know.
the optimal strategy, right?
I know the problem with the worker placement games, though, in us is like we're trying to find that strategy. There's too many options.
That's how it was in this game.
I
Now,
know.
there's certain games where that's not the case.
Right.
Lords of Waterdeep, not necessarily the case. I usually come out on top on that game, but the Zolkin Mayan calendar there were too many ways. Here's the biggest problem with it. There was no way to stop anyone. You couldn't.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was I too far?
Yeah, you
from the
gotta do
mic?
like-
Oh, that's way better.
Oh,
Yeah,
there he is.
Hey,
Sounds-
how's it
You
going?
gotta do that. You gotta do like the NPR.
yeah.
Hi.
I feel like those
Yeah,
girls
full
from
spoil,
SNL.
Yes, exactly. Sweaty balls.
Okay, that's very good.
All right, now keep talking about.
So no, the Zolkin, there was no way to stop your opponent, right? So if they got going on whatever their strategy was, you couldn't say you couldn't screw your neighbor.
Right.
How dare you?
Well, that's a big part of strategy is,
Yeah,
I need to find something that works for me and at the same time keep you from reaching your goals.
Right.
It doesn't matter in that game if you figure out what the other person's strategy is, there's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
So my wife got going on this thing that at the beginning of the game I thought was kind of a long shot, and I was like, that seems like a waste of time. And then she started getting her ball rolling on that, and I was like, well, that was not a waste of time. She's going to kill me in this game.
She won, by the way.
And she did by a lot.
Yeah, she destroyed
By,
it.
like,
Who?
Kayla.
Oh, yeah.
Kayla destroyed it.
destroyed it. But there was nothing I could do. Once I saw that it was working for there's no kind of defensive strategy. It's just all my strategy versus your strategy versus David's strategy, and first one across the finish line wins.
See, and that is the way that David keeps the Petersons on his toes. Is he only lets us play any game like twice because he's got a million of them. So, so it's like, Brandon, oh, we want to play that game again. Oh no, I got this new one that you don't know how to play.
And I know all the rules.
But we still win 9 out of 10 times.
That's
so
the part that
it's all right.
sucks. No, I think also that game. So in the game, it's got this mechanic of you have to place your workers on these gears, on the lowest part of that gear, and then every turn the gear moves. All of the gears move. So your worker does the action when you pull them off. So you want to keep them on that gear longer because they get better actions. So it's this cool mechanic of being able to allocate your workers at the right time and then pulling them off at the right time, because you can only pull off workers and perform actions or put workers. You can't do both. So it's this balance of putting people into the actual worker field and then taking them off. But every time you place workers, you have to pay currency, money, to put them out. And the more workers you put out at once, you have to pay exponentially more. So you've got to have this balance of having some workers left over and leaving people in the work field. So it's a different mechanic. Most games too, worker placement games are the first thing you want to always do. Go get more workers, more actions. It's always, in this game, it's not necessarily the case. I think some of us got maybe one extra when you could have gotten 3 because it costs so much. Like if you put 2 workers out, it costs 3, it's corn, maize. So 3, if you do 4, it's like 10. If you do 6, it's like 15. So it gets really, really exponentially more expensive. So it's an excellent game that I recommend everybody. Alyssa did not like it though. My wife did not enjoy that game. There's a ton going on. Like there's like a religion track. There's a tech upgrade track. There's a crystal skull thing, which is kind of funny. We'll talk about Indiana Jones later.
The corn is so integral to the game because you have
currency, right?
Yeah, because it's the currency that lets you put out your workers and do all that. It does nothing to help you win the game. It just
right, but you got to build it up.
But you have to have it to put out your workers. Well, there's only like one wheel that allows you to get the corn, so you're trying to focus on that. But if you don't focus on these other wheels at the same time, you'll never get the stuff that you need to win. But if you don't get the corn, then you'll never be able to put out your workers, and then you won't be able to get the stuff.
It's like, what is it? I needed a job I need a car to get a job, and I need a job to get a car.
Exactly.
Yeah,
those catch-22s, you're just... And that was the part that it threw me off, and I just ended up too far behind. By the time I got a system going, and I think you and I are guilty of this a lot, David and I were talking about it, we'll start our engine, and it's a long haul, right?
And the game's over.
Yeah, and so the game, just as it really gets cranking, the game ends, and we're like,
yeah. That's why I started with what was that Zeppelin one we played?
Steam Time.
Steam Time.
It's got so much steampunk in it.
Yeah, right. It's so steampunk. It's in the name. That was that one actually for the first time. I was like, I see this as like 7 rounds or whatever.
Yeah.
I've got to get it going fast, and that's what we have to learn. But like I said, we only get to play it once.
Well,
but
that's what it is.
Awesome.
But yeah, was it better than Steam Time?
Yes.
Really?
It's
it was a lot of fun.
It's a very cool game.
Steam Time. Well, actually, I like all those worker placements.
I would like to one day play it again. We'll see.
No, we'll do it. We'll do it.
No,
Never.
Well, if you buy it,
we have a joke every time I bring a game over to their house to play. I show up the next time and they have it.
He is the most expensive house guest. Like, he comes over, I'm like, this is going to cost me anywhere from $50 to $100.
Yeah, exactly.
The nice thing is you get to try all your games first.
That is true.
You don't buy anything you don't want.
Anything else you got going on other than playing games?
Well, I've been Netflix binging, which is always fun. I haven't started Daredevil yet. I just finished, actually, the first season of Better Call Saul.
Which show's so good.
It is really good. I did not like...
Don't say Breaking Bad.
Did not like Breaking Bad.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
I've never seen it, but I know that's like... You
How
just
can you
committed heresy.
I know.
Get out.
It's one of the best televisions ever.
I just got uninvited.
Yeah. I can't believe you don't like Breaking Bad.
Was not good.
No.
I'm just going on record right now.
Okay.
That's 2 people.
There were entire episodes. My wife hates it too.
3 people.
3 people.
Who's the first?
Just some person on the internet.
Okay.
There's only one other person.
There's one troll out there who's like, I've got his back.
Yeah, exactly.
No, there were entire episodes where just nothing happened. I didn't like the characters. The wives in that show were so obnoxious.
That's
I couldn't
the point.
stand them.
They're the
minerals, Murray.
And like the biggest disappointment was they weren't the first ones to go.
Jeez.
I really did not like this. But the best part about that show, excuse me, I'm tied up in the wires, was Saul.
Yeah.
And so that he got his own spinoff, I was really excited about that. I watched the first season. I was not disappointed. I know I'm behind because I'm doing the Netflix binge and not.
Don't listen to our podcast. Jordan spoils every.
Yeah, I do because I'm like.
Do you watch Better Call Saul?
No, I don't. Watch
so you'll be fine. But anything he watches, he does not preface it with spoiler alert.
Yeah, sorry, because I don't watch anything like fresh, so I'm like, spoiled. You guys should know.
Yeah.
I have to kind of battle for the TV too, so I don't get to watch a lot of the things like Arrow and Daredevil and stuff like that because I got to deal with my wife doing Gilmore Girl.
Right? Did you watch
binge
Flash
watching.
at least?
I've not seen all of them. I've seen a few of them.
I did catch up on my Flash.
Good job.
That's awesome. It's really, really good. I'm sorry.
You guys okay?
Dragging me by the head.
I'm surprised you like Better Call Saul and not Breaking Bad though, because obviously it's the same people. The same cinematography. It's a lot of the writing's the same.
Yes, but stuff happens. 2, smarter criminals. One of the things that drove me crazy about Breaking Bad was that they were constantly just idiots about like you had it in your hand. All you had to do was, but it's annoying. Like I get that that's the plot is that that's what drives the
Fish
plot.
out of water, yeah.
But I'm like, man, this show, if it was just most people, I think, maybe not, maybe just me and the rest of the sociopaths, but
I was going to say,
I think at this point everybody's either seen it or isn't going to watch it. But in the first season, he's got that guy in the basement, and it's like 4 episodes with him. He's just kill this guy. I'm like, there's like 7 ways to kill this guy. Just do it.
That's the thing. He doesn't want to kill the guy.
It's not
they
the
don't
method
even have
that
to
he
be.
before.
They don't even have to be brutal. Like I understand. Like he went down there with a hammer. I'm like, maybe you're not ready for that, right? But maybe you could run a hose from your truck back into the window. You know.
Do the whole gas thing.
And just kind of a quiet.
Wow. That's why it's so good though, is because it took that long to kill him, because he doesn't want to kill anybody.
See, that,
he knows he has to.
I think that's where the split comes, because that just drove me crazy. I'm like, just go in there, smack him with a brick, and let's go.
Yeah, move on to the next.
Let's move it on.
I'm sure that was a character development thing, because
the whole show is
isn't
character development.
He just like starting out as teacher and
high school
path,
teacher,
and it's like that is
and he does, and
Breaking Bad
turning point, a big turning point. I would assume. I don't see the show, but sounds like it sucks.
Whatever.
Such
a troll.
That's family right there. So no, but I've really enjoyed Better Call Saul. I think it's cleverly written. There's stuff happens. I like the characters. There's not a fly episode.
I love the fly episode.
Are you kidding me?
And it doesn't even involve your boy.
Nothing happens. Nothing happens.
Did
that
you
entire
finish Breaking
episode.
Bad?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you know why? You know about the Cinnabon and all that stuff.
We finished it just so that we could have this conversation, because we knew at the moment we said we don't like Breaking Bad, someone was going to say, "Well, did you finish it?"
Not just that, but like a lot of this, like, why is he at a Cinnabon? I don't get it.
Right. They
like
explain a lot of it at the end of that.
That's the same reason I vote, just so you know, because I like to I like to complain, and if you don't vote, people are like, you don't vote, we can't complain. I'm like, well, I want to complain, so I'll vote.
It's good to know that.
Just so I can complain.
You're just like blank, close your eyes. Now I can complain.
Check. Complain. That's my role.
Did you watch
Who
anything
vote for?
else?
I'm not really sure.
Did you watch anything else on Netflix?
I did. Today I watched Pee-wee's Big Holiday.
How was that? That was the first Netflix, like the one they produced, right?
It was. It was a Netflix original. One, can I just say that for 63, he looks the same.
Paul Rubin?
Yes. He's 63 years old.
He looks fantastic. He looks exactly. It's creepy.
He pulls it off.
I said there's got to be so that was good. There's so much makeup for that character. I mean, just to but you see him, he was in Gotham, right? Not too long ago.
Yes.
Well, in the first season.
Yep.
Which I also started that, and that was pretty good.
He was on a legal show for a while there, like one of those Boston legal.
But he still doesn't look 63.
No,
That's my point.
he looks fantastic.
Yeah.
But
as Pee-wee, he looks
fantastic.
But Pee-wee, he looks identical.
Wow, that's crazy.
They start
amazing.
off because I've only watched the first hour. I was watching before we got on here. Like it's immediately Pee-wee. Like it's awesome. They definitely captured. And you know what's funny? The guys who wrote the show or wrote this movie is Paul Rubin, Pee-wee, and Paul Rust, who is starring on that show Love on Netflix.
Oh, really?
So he's a writer. He's also, and then it's Judd Apatow. He's producing everything on Netflix apparently.
a lot of the comedy stuff.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. Should I go to the deal?
But you enjoyed it? So
I did. I thought it was one of the I mean, there's 3, right? And
yeah.
they're all good, but it was a great Pee-wee. I don't know if it was the best Pee-wee movie, but it was a great Pee-wee movie.
The Pee-wee verse.
Well, they kept so true to the character and what happens in the original movies. You know, with the all the different characters, and everybody kind of loves Pee-wee, and he just meets all these people on the road. That's kind of the basic
premise.
the premise of all of his movies, and they really did it well. It was a little more gay. Is
really?
the word? No, they did it. They did it in a I guess I was reading this article on it, and they talk about he doesn't really talk about his sexuality ever since that whole
the theater thing. Yeah.
Do you think he'd get in trouble for that today? By the way,
probably not as much.
I was like,
well, I don't know. Social media might have, someone would have the actual photo or video of it. So
wasn't
maybe
he at an adult theater?
Yeah.
But I don't know what he was watching. So.
That's the whole. It doesn't. But anyways, he
don't-
doesn't address it on the
So
show.
his sexuality has been kind of, I guess, in question. Most people kind
Right.
of lean towards the gay. Not that it matters, but so in this movie, he makes a lot of like. I want to say that they're subtle, but they're not.
Innuendos?
They're not. Yeah, they're innuendos, but they're not. They're not subtle innuendos. Like Joe Margotti, isn't it?
He's from True Blood. He's one of
Joe,
the.
what's his last name?
I don't remember.
Maganalata.
Whatever.
One of those
He's
names.
from True Blood. He's in a bunch of different movies.
Apparently, he's the husband of the lady in that family show.
That one show with that one guy with hair.
The
Good job.
Spanish
Good
lady. She doesn't. She got the heavy
Sofia
accent.
Vergara?
Yes.
Okay.
Amazing.
So, anyways,
Thank you, Gerald. Thank you. Anyway, so he's in it, and Pee-wee doesn't know who he is, and he's playing himself. He's like, "Are you kidding me? He's like, you don't know?
I'm an actor. Yeah, you don't know
I'm
who
an
I am.
actor. I've been in True. You never seen True Blood? He's like, no. He's like, you never seen Magic Mike? He's like, you would think so, but no.
They do make some subtle things about it, yeah. Because there's also a part where in the very beginning, like one of the librarian or one of the coworkers or somebody who lives in the town, kind of like, "Hey, what's going on? What do you want to hang out?" And he's like, "Nope, I'm busy."
Yeah.
And it's just like they definitely make reference to it. I didn't pick that up from that, but I guess maybe now thinking about it, oh, they definitely
That's
did.
just kind of the humor, right? They're kind of
Yeah. They're
And he has
playing
this
on it.
kind of bromance with Joe Magalari.
Yeah.
They make references to the old movies. They make
I was gonna say, is there like a canon? I guess.
yeah, there
Like,
is. There actually is because they talk about sort of. I mean, they talk about.
I remember what happened in that movie.
He definitely makes. I've only watched, like I said, the first hour, and he makes explicitly 2 references to other parts of the original movies.
He does reference it, but I don't think it takes place in the same, because he talks about a lot how Pee-wee's, it's about his vacation, and the whole premise is that he's never left this town. Well, the first 2 movies
Right.
are all about him taking these adventures.
Okay.
So you're telling me it's not part of the same Pee-wee
It's not
universe?
part 3 of Pee-wee-verse.
Pee-wee-verse. No, I don't believe it is.
Okay, so it's like a new story every time.
Every
It's just
time
in
it's
this,
a
Reboot.
Like
A Pee-wee reboot.
there's little Easter eggs that point to the other movies, but it is not a sequel.
like in the story wise. Okay.
I'm just hoping. Don't tell me if there is, but I'm hoping there's some scene in there where he goes, "Paging Mr. Herman, paging Mr." I love that part. It's so great. Anyways, but so far not so far.
No,
For
I
me,
watched
so
the
far
whole
it was
thing.
good. But you would recommend everybody go watch it?
Oh, absolutely. If you're a Pee Wee Herman fan, I mean, I don't know. Did you guys grow up with Pee Wee Herman?
Yes.
I mean, we were
No, I
only.
did not.
I did. I did.
mean,
I had
saw
I had all the toys and everything too.
So, I mean, I'm a couple years older than you guys, but not that much. But his show wasn't on for that long, so.
Well, originally it was not. I don't think it was a children's show. Like I remember watching the old ones, like, and they make some references that would be like innuendo.
What
Like,
time slot was it at? Was it like a late night?
I think it was a late night show.
So it was
and
like
then
the Muppets back then. It's like it
kind
wasn't
of
a kid's show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like Ren and Stimpy was a kid show, but if you actually go back and watch it, you're like, this is weird. Like it's. I guess it is a kid. It's just super silly.
It's super silly. I tried to watch it with my daughter the other day, and I was like,
Ren and Stimpy?
"Oh no, Pee Wee."
Oh.
No, but
Maybe
it's
it's like references for kids and adults.
Well, here's the
It's one
thing.
of
Like
those
when we
things.
think of kid shows, we think of like silly, but there's always like an underlying good message. Like Pee-wee's just silly for silly. Like it's just silly. Like there's no like, and be nice to your neighbor, or you
No
wash your
moral.
hands. It's stuff. It's nothing like that. It's just silly for the sake of being silly.
I'll put it this way: Kayla was so against watching this Pee Wee movie.
Yeah.
Like she hates things she hasn't seen before. just anything.
She hated you before she met you.
It was I had to break through a serious barrier on that one. So when I finally got her to watch it, she's on the couch just cracking up.
Yeah, it's funny.
And by the end of the movie, she was like, "Yeah, that was pretty funny." I'm like,
Should watch it again.
I think so. Yeah.
I'm
Well,
just saying now she's on the
now she's on the Pee Wee
it's on
train.
the list.
Cool. Anything else?
I think that brings us up to speed. That was like 2 hours before I showed up here. So,
This is the
David,
part- there you go.
what you doing?
Thank you. These guys don't even
It's like
get
he's
it.
cueing you, bro. Cueing
Like,
you.
come on, wink, wink.
I'm
setting
new.
it up.
I'm
Knock
new
'em
to
Okay, so
radio.
since you guys met the board game quota, you guys talked about board games. I won't talk about board games. I will talk about.
Yes. I'm just kidding.
I will talk about. I just watched the first 2 episodes of Daredevil season 2, and it is amazing.
Yeah.
Like amazing. Like talk about.
I'm going to watch this, by the way.
Yeah,
So, like,
talk about like I'm not going to ruin anything for you, but talk about introducing. Obviously, everyone knows the Punisher's in it, but
Right,
introducing him in a way that is interesting. It's not entirely different, but the what's his name? I don't know his actual the actor's name.
Oh.
Well, Frank Castle's his name. No, but the actor who plays him is from
He's like
Walking Dead.
He's been in a couple other things. Yeah.
He is great in it. Like just
Yeah, I heard
perfect.
he's like perfect iteration. Of
Yeah,
this
and
character.
he's the show. The first you saw the first episode, right?
Yeah, I watched the first
It's
episode.
brutal.
Yeah,
like it's even
definitely.
more brutal than the first season.
That's what
There
I
were a
love
couple
about
times
this
in the
show.
first season though, like the car door. and
Yeah,
all
I
that
know,
stuff.
but even that, it's
Oh,
more.
yeah.
It's that big. It's bigger and
Awesome.
badder.
I was a little
hallway
upset
fight,
that I think I know they do it in like marketing team does not talk to like the creative director team.
Right.
It's like because it's clearly setting up for this reveal of this character. They don't say Punisher like in this first episode. Like it's just like everybody knows this.
Something.
but
There's a
it's
lot
just
of these
they think it's
expertly
like-
shot bullets in these people's heads.
Exactly.
Who is
and
it?
it's just like, but it could be a lot of different people. It could just be thugs. Could be this
Bullseye.
and that. It could be right. And there's other options. But like
They
the
have
whole
to
time,
sell
I'm like,
it.
oh, I know this is Punisher. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
but
And
they-
then they like reveal that it's only one guy, and it's like that's not a reveal because for the last 3 months, all I've heard is Punisher's on the new Daredevil. So it's like, why do they do that?
Yeah.
I
It's
need
like,
people to watch it.
but people would have watched it without Punisher. People would have watched it because
Oh, without
Daredevil
knowing
season
the Punisher.
1 was awesome.
I don't know that because
I
some
do.
people, some
There were hit and misses with the first season.
Do you think that the people who are fans and know who Punisher are not going to watch Daredevil?
Yeah, but they're
I
trying to
agree
get more
with that.
people than those people. They know those people are going to
Right,
watch.
but then Punisher's not a sell to those people. They don't know who Punisher is.
I agree, but I'm
The
saying
people that know Punisher and love Punisher already are
already-
watching Daredevil
But
and love
here's
Daredevil.
the thing: is that they when they talk about when they revealed Punishers in this season, they got a bunch of press, which got people to go and watch the first season. There's other reasons for PR other than I get what
I
you're
don't
saying.
think
I totally
you
agree.
need it though. I think you could do it in a different way.
Right.
That doesn't give because clearly the people making the show did not intend for you to know it was Punisher, or they would have had in the opening scene a big skull, a white skull, like with the DD. You know,
Dude,
what I
the
mean?
first
Like,
season had the same exact problem. The whole entire series, it's him in this black uniform, right?
Right, the black
You're like,
thing over his eyes.
And the
yeah.
only reason why you knew he was going to have the red suit is because the banner, when you click on, I want to watch season 1, had the
Right.
banner with
Yeah,
him
I
in the
didn't
red
enjoy
suit,
that.
you know? So it wasn't the reveal of his suit wasn't as big because...
Right. No,
Yeah.
you're totally right.
Same
I just,
thing I was
it is. It's just like the creative teams do such a good job and develop it in a way. And I know that they're just kicking themselves. Like, what are you doing? You know, why? I just designed this to make an awesome, suspenseful thing, and you guys just like gave it away.
I will say
month 2.
they do a good job of and because Punisher he's a kind of what do we call it, anti-hero? Like he straddles the line. Oh well, in fact he doesn't. But he
straddles. He doesn't kill innocents.
right. Well, yeah. Well,
That would make him a bad guy. That's
no, I know, but I'm saying
Yeah, but
Like
sometimes the anti-hero people are kind of bad.
This would be
not
bad.
really a
You're
bad-
yeah,
murdering
like
people.
think of like
He's
Catwoman as kind of an
murdering murderers.
anti-hero at times because she'll steal, but she'll
I
like
guess
She'll
that's
also help
true.
out. Like,
I was thinking
he's,
more like-
he's mercenary-ish, but only kills the bad. Like he won't kill.
Yeah, but that's
like,
bad in his eyes.
Civil
well, right.
War-
That's the
I
subjective
like,
nature.
I like that. But like in Civil War, he was like battling Captain America, and he would not kill Captain America because he's a good guy. And then like Jack-o'-lantern's standing there, and he's like trying to join the good side, and he just shoots him in the head.
Right.
Exactly.
And,
How's that a good guy?
and Captain America's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Dude, that guy's a murderer."
I just took care of it.
No, I'm not the murderer.
But
He
he
is.
wouldn't even fight back with Captain America. Captain America just beat the crap out of him.
But I will say they make this version of Punisher like bad. You haven't gotten to this dude. It's like holy crap. Like you know.
I'm not sure he has the same morals as the comic one.
No, he's
Maybe
he's
hasn't
way
developed
more
his
darker
character.
than that. But the show is the thing I like about the show and just the recent growth of superhero TV shows is they're doing a really good job of making it suspenseful, but not having to spend a bunch of money on some kind of special effects fight scene. Whereas you don't see that, but it's not, you don't feel like something's being taken away from you because the way it's shot is enjoyable and is tense. Like in the very first season, there's a part where it's
hallway.
the hallway.
I love
Oh,
that
it's
scene.
such a great scene.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like that didn't. I mean, I can't believe they got that in one shot. I mean, I don't know how many times they had
It's
to.
not one shot. It's cut to look like one, but it's not one shot.
I heard it's one shot.
It does not cut away. 'Cause
No,
that's
like
what
when
really
it'll forward
impressed
on
me.
one thing. And then
No, I
zoom
know,
out,
but
yeah,
I've
it's a
still
cut.
heard it was shot as one shot, which is insane. Like this podcast is one shot.
That's right.
But yeah, so I watched that. Definitely recommend everybody go check out
Yeah, I'll
that.
definitely check out this week.
Yeah, and then I also caught up on Pee Wee Herman, so we already kind of talked about that. Netflix is killing it, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They already have an Iron Fist teaser at the end of Daredevil too.
Oh, is Iron Fist next
cut
on the
like a
list? I
teaser.
can't
Yep.
wait for Iron Fist. It's
Really?
gonna be really good. Yeah.
I was never.
Did you watch
they're
Jessica
gonna-
Jones?
No.
I have not.
You need to watch
He's in
that
there,
too. I
haven't finished that either. But
Is Iron Fist and Jessica Jones?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you also have Luke Cage.
no, I'm
in it.
thinking Luke Cage.
Yeah,
Luke
those
Cage
were-
is what they showed
those
the
were
preview
two
for,
of-
not Iron Fist.
Yeah,
Not Iron
Luke
Fist.
Cage,
Luke
I'm
Cage.
not as excited about, but Iron Fist I am because like the entanglement with like Doctor Strange and the Doctor Strange movie coming out.
Okay.
I think it could be really cool.
Yeah.
But the way it's right, the bad guy, and don't spoil this too much for me, but the Punisher's not the bad guy in Daredevil season 2, right?
I haven't
They're like
gotten
an
that far.
overarching.
I really haven't gotten that far. I've only gotten to 2
I know
episodes.
there's like ninjas and stuff. I'm like,
Well, I can just tell you that
I have
he's a
heard-
big concern for Daredevil.
well, for sure.
Yeah.
But he's not the overarching bad guy, right?
It'll be interesting to see.
I've
that.
heard from people that there's like
From your
there is
sources.
a secondary bad guy.
I'm sure there has to be.
Yeah.
Well,
They mentioned the
teased
trailers. They showed ninjas, and that's why Electra's there. And all
the
that
hand.
kind of stuff, so.
That's what they were called.
Oh,
in
the
Marvel.
hand, that's
The
what
hand.
it's
Yeah. Okay, so now that we got through all of our what you doing, our extended what you doing, you had something. No, don't be sorry. We got to check in with you guys.
It's always.
I was dragging it
It's
out.
funny,
Because
like-
I didn't turn it over,
Yeah,
Dragged it
I'll
out.
turn it
Didn't pass the torch.
Okay, Gerald, you got something you wanted to talk about?
I do.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
have a sheet of paper in front of you.
News! Everyone, I have news.
Okay.
All right, this week Microsoft announced that they are opening up their cross-platform gaming. So they said every new title will have a cross-platform
Ability.
with ability with Windows 10 and Xbox. So they've done that with a lot
So
of
you can play
games now.
cross-platform
okay.
between PC and Xbox. But the bigger news.
The bigger news, and this will start with Rocket League, which just came out not so long ago. But the bigger news is that they're opening up to other networks as well. So it's up to Sony to be like, hey, yeah,
up.
sure.
Right.
But Microsoft was like, if Sony wants to come out, they didn't say Sony, they just said other networks. But if Sony wants to come out and be like, yeah, we'll allow our games to play with yours, that'd be huge. That's never happened
Yeah,
before.
but Sony did come out on, I think it was Friday, and made another cryptic tweet or
What'd
whatever.
they say?
They said basically, we're always interested in working with lots of developers and publishers to be cross-platform. Like we did Final Fantasy, we did with the PC, and we have Rocket League. They were the first ones to do it with
Yeah.
Rocket League through PS4 and
PC.
But neither of them actually say each other's name. They're just like, hey, we're game if you're game.
Right.
And
Well,
it's
it's
just like,
not really up to them, too. I mean, it's up to them for the networks, but now it's up to the developers to bake that into their games that they
which is
develop.
interesting because you, as a developer, obviously we're getting closer and closer to the singular console, right? Because the actual tech inside of it isn't extremely different, right? The actual
Right.
chips inside of it.
Well, yeah, because now the same chips that power the Xbox and PS4 are CPUs or PC grade chips. So it's
Right.
same architecture.
So it's easier for developers to do that. But I wanted to ask you guys a bigger question. One, do you think that's a good idea?
Yeah, most definitely.
I don't think so.
Why?
Necessarily. Well, from a financial point of view, as far as like owning a business, if you're now sharing your market share with the other company, with your competition, that doesn't seem like a great idea, right? So before, you had to buy an Xbox if you wanted to play PlayStation, get Sony games, and you had to buy a PlayStation and you had to run both systems. Well, now if they're cross-platform, you only have to buy whatever system you like the best.
Not necessarily, because each system will still have their first-party games. Like, Microsoft's always going to have Halo. You're never going to see Halo on a PlayStation. It's just like if your buddy has Madden on his PS4, and now you guys can both play.
Which is, I mean, it's just, I think from a development side, you have to make sure that both games are closer to being identical, like absolutely identical, because the
Most
experience.
console games are.
No, I know, but I'm saying there are sometimes slight differences, maybe like frame rate stuff. I think they have to make
that's
sure.
what I would worry about, especially with PC, because it's just not set. Someone could
PC,
have a
you get a keyboard and mouse.
souped up.
No, but
I'm just saying you'd have a souped up
latency
PC.
issues, yeah.
You could have a much better quality PC than the console. I guess they'd have to bring it down to the lowest common denominator.
Yeah, I don't think that really affects gameplay, though. The only thing that really affects gameplay is input, and that's like keyboard and mouse, especially playing something like an FPS.
right.
Keyboard mouse versus controller, and keyboard mouse is almost always going to be better.
But what are we gonna? Then we'll have no more console wars. It's so much fun to hear how.
You'll always have console wars.
I know,
too.
so
Like
I was
said,
gonna
those
ask you guys
first-party
about-
games are huge.
Yeah.
What about like network cards and stuff like that? Couldn't you have like faster network?
It's all gigabit, too.
It wouldn't matter.
It's so fast at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, no one has an internet connection fast enough for that even matters.
I was going to ask you guys when, obviously now there's like, Xbox and PlayStation, fanboys that will die for a company that did, anyways, but
Get tattooed.
yeah, exactly.
Xbox tattoo
My
on
point
it.
is did you guys have that growing up? Or, cause my attitude was when I was a kid, like if I had a Super Nintendo and I had a friend that had a Sega Genesis or whatever, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like I want to play the games that I don't have. Whereas now it's like, oh, well, Super Nintendo's better. Like I didn't have that as much growing up. I don't know. Did you guys have like an allegiance
Well,
to?
I had the poor allegiance.
Yeah,
So it was
that
the friend who
allegiance.
ever had a system.
Yeah, that was my allegiance.
And if they're like, hey, do you have anything we can play? I got like, sorry. I got like a crappy board game that half the pieces are missing,
Yeah.
But
I
really,
was
like-
almost 10 by the time we got a Nintendo. We grew up with Atari and like
I had an Atari 2600.
But I mean, did you, even when you had like, because I didn't own a PlayStation 2, I had a roommate that had it, but I had an Xbox, and I did at that time feel a little allegiance to it. I don't know why, but I did feel like Xbox is better. Xbox is better.
I never
than
really had.
PlayStation 2.
I always had allegiance for Nintendo, mainly because of those first party games. Like I always wanted to play Zelda and all that.
That's
kind
the
of
thing.
stuff.
Nintendo. When is Nintendo going to jump on board with like the adults? I don't understand.
I think they're better staying out of it. They have such a niche market that they're just
But it's
The
like
niche market
killing
makes
it.
no money.
I hate to buy I don't have a Wii U. I hate to buy a system just so I can play Zelda when it comes out,
It's a Zelda console.
Mario when it comes out.
I had a Wii U, and then I traded it in after I think 6 or 8 months of owning it. I never played it.
But I think they've burned that bridge really bad with all third-party developers. So I think they've pretty much just said, look,
I heard they're going to be integrating with phone games. Like they've got a department now that's
they already
making
came out for
phone
their first
games.
mobile. Well, it's not really a game; it's more like a social network. It's called Miiverse.
Yep.
Well, no, they said they're going to come out with like a Mario game that's specifically for mobile.
why
Yeah, they can
not?
talk about that, yeah.
Why not? I
Doing
don't
their
understand.
IPs
Pokemon, a
in
new
mobile
Pokemon
developers.
Yeah.
just for your phone, and it's not
Yeah,
like
Pokemon Go.
porting. It's not porting. It's like a new whole game. So
Yeah.
that's exciting. I'd like at least I have a mobile phone already, so I can buy the games. But it's just annoying that they don't market at all towards adults. Like we love the games. Like we
Yeah.
grew up with these games. Like we have
But we
the
still
money.
play the games.
I don't.
No,
I-
people aren't. Nintendo is really doing poorly. Yeah, they're
I mean,
doing
I
really
haven't
poorly.
because I'm just not a gamer like you guys are gamers.
Right.
But I enjoyed the Mario universe or Galaxy or whatever it was when it came
Super
out.
Mario Galaxy.
Yeah, but that was a while ago,
That was a
man.
long time ago,
They've
and
already-
it was really fun.
But I mean, I was an adult. Well, that's what I'm saying.
No,
Like, I still enjoyed the Mario game even though I was an adult.
No, I agree. The games are really fun for adults too, but it's just like if you look at like the Nintendo catalog, it is full of like just crappy kids games. Like Pets Paws 17. Like,
Right, it's all
just,
shovelware is
like,
what they call it. Yeah.
Really bad games. And it's just like they come out with about 5 good games per console, not like per year.
Right.
Like they'll come out with 5 good games on a console. Yes, Mario Galaxy is a good example. That was one of the few good games for the Wii. Mario Galaxy 2 wasn't that great. It was all right.
And now they get that stigma because there are games that come out. Like there was a Donkey Kong game for Nintendo Wii U. I think it's Tropical Blast. I forget what it's called, but I forgot what it's called because it was a great game, got great reviews, but nobody's playing it because of that. If it's not at this point, it's like, if it's not a first party Mario game, a first party Zelda game, then it's
Smash
you have
Brothers.
your Super Smash, you have your Mario Kart that are huge still on
Mario
Wii U, but their multiplayer is still broken. Like it's still super hard. Gotta trade friend codes and all this stuff.
And there's not enough people playing, like, so you don't get like matches quickly
Yeah.
and things like that. Like a Smash Brothers, I love the fact that you can play with your 3DS. You can sync it up to the Wii. Like, there's really cool functionality with it in Smash Brothers, but they just don't have
Man,
enough.
I used to play that game like crazy.
Yeah, no, we
Same
played
here.
it on. We
And it's
played it
still
on.
fun.
Nintendo
Like I said,
64,
I bought my
GameCube,
Wii U for Super Smash Brothers, and I traded it in because I never.
It's an
played it enough
expensive
to-
game. It's
Yeah.
like $360.
Well, that and Mario Kart, and
Right.
I never played it. So
I was visiting my in-laws, and my brother-in-law was in high school still, and he brought out Smash Brothers, and he was like, "Oh, you want to play?" I'm like, "Son,
You don't even
is
know.
the
I don't
game to me.
even know." I smashed him.
Yeah, that is always fun to do that. But I'm interested to see how Nintendo pivots because they have had obviously a change at the top and they're starting to make some different decisions. But it's not good that Nintendo's not doing well. Like that's not good because they have some amazing characters. Like I remember reading some article about if they sold the company, like just Mario,
just the IP.
just the IP of Mario is like it's like Spider-Man level of how much it cost. Like.
Right.
So anyways.
Why Disney should have bought this a while ago. I'm surprised they haven't.
There was a big push that either Apple was going to purchase Nintendo. That's one, it's always
They were
speculation.
never for sale. But
No, but I mean, everything's for sale, right? That's the joke, right? Yeah, everything, if you offer enough money, will be. But they're at a pretty low point right now. I think they do a good job with the Nintendo Direct, which is kind of like their E3, and they do it, I think, quarterly now.
just when they have stuff to announce.
Yeah, but they've burned so many bridges. They keep showing Zelda, right? And now they were like, "Oh, this new Zelda, it's an open world Zelda." I'm like, that sounds amazing, like a truly open world Zelda with, dynamic AI that does things when it directs you into going to certain temples, pushes you, like good games do. That sounds amazing. But I've seen the trailer for it for 3 years now, and it's like at a certain point the hype train runs out of gas. Or
What, they're re-releasing Twilight Princess, or
They
keep doing that. The HD remakes, and that's fine. I think those are all great because at the same time, people who didn't play those get to experience those great games. But I'm not interested.
I played Wind Waker, the HD one on Wii U. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's getting those
The
people,
ocean
those
looks
existing
really
people.
good.
yeah.
Yeah,
The
it looks
ocean's
great.
like so awesome.
I loved that game. I got 3/4 of the way through it. My cousin came to visit and deleted my game and started.
What a jerk!
Yeah,
That
I was
game
like,
so much
"Are you
fun.
kidding?"
One of my
I never got to
favorite.
play it again.
I just didn't like the traveling around the ocean and looking for treasure.
Buried
It was
treasure.
wonderful.
That was fun.
Getting that booty.
Drop it.
I love Zelda, but
But they have their next system is supposed to be, it's codenamed the NX. It's just this year's E3 has to be big for them. Something substantial has to come out of it.
Yeah, and hopefully Zelda's a launch title.
I'm almost thinking
that's what they'll do. It'll be like that Twilight Princess where they had like an HD version and then like a dumbed down version.
They'll do that though, because I mean, Twilight Princess. I almost think they won't put it on the Wii.
Maybe still rent systems. Is that because
I don't think so.
Blockbuster?
No, there's no.
Find a Blockbuster. They'll do it for you.
I want to rent a Wii U.
Build a time machine.
I don't know.
Speaking
I've got to figure something out.
Speaking of video games, you had a video game. We talked about it in the Q&A before the podcast. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, yeah, it's rumored to come out. It's supposed to be shown at E3 this year.
The horse mechanics. Huge. Remember that was like I remember when they did like the teaser, like the horse legs move so
I don't remember their old trailer.
The opponent did that back in like 1999. Opponent was amazing.
Now, I think Red Dead Redemption, as far as storytelling and like setting and place, I remember playing it in the dark, had the TV on, and it was a campfire where you save, and the light, all the starry night. You hear the coyote, and it's just like, I'm there, man. Like, I'm there. It's playing the music. When you go to Mexico and it plays that music for that 2.5 minute, there are so many moments in that game that make you there.
I think we talked about this a lot extensively. If you want to check out our top 5 video games, right?
Of all time, yeah.
I think that was on your list.
Yeah, it was on my list. It's a fantastic game, so I'm excited.
Again, this is just rumor and obviously not confirmed or anything.
It's funny how...
They almost have to. So.
Yeah, Rockstar's becoming the new Nintendo. They have so many intellectual properties that everyone's like, please make
what
another.
What other IPs they have other than
Bully?
GTA and
Bully? Everyone wants another Bully. You didn't like Bully? I love that game.
I played it on PC well after it came out on PS2 because I didn't have a PlayStation, but yeah, the game's not that great.
You're crazy. Bully's awesome.
It's just a reskin GTA and you can't kill people.
It is that.
No,
exactly.
it had a different feel to it.
It's a reskin GTA. It's just like GTA with a kid.
Instead of shooting people, you're shooting like spit walls.
And he's at a school. And it's kind of stupid.
No, it had.
I don't like GTA though either.
Oh, I love GTA.
GTA is great.
I like GTA for about 10 minutes. Like, I just like
You don't like the story, you just like the...
I like to ramp up the stars and
see how many cops you can
put a code in that gets a tank and just destroy
Go
people.
all out.
But other than
it's a lovely game.
Online is fun though.
Yeah,
you haven't played the
online. It's ridiculous.
It's a lot of fun
because you can like do bank heists and stuff.
Yeah,
that seems like it'd be fun. But I don't know. I just don't care. It just it never engrossed me.
But they said they're gonna. You have it written here.
They're working on a remaster this year. This is the only leak. That they're making a remaster of the first one. It's coming out this year.
Can't wait.
And then the second one will come out next year.
Yeah, and I just remember there's so many different areas, and then the story of the game is great. The mechanics of the game, other than when you would accidentally shoot your own horse in the head. Did you ever do that?
You can do that Red Dead and kill your horse, right?
Well, in that game, it does that bullet time, so it slows the what is it called? Reticle. And then you would, like, someone would run in front of your horse or be in the distance, and you would keep shooting, and then you trail right into your horse head and then blow its brains out and fall over. I think they took that out.
Where you can't kill your own forward transportation.
The one thing that sucked about that game is you would take like furs from like dead animals and stuff like that, and it was the same stupid animation of him stabbing it. Oh, I'm sorry.
They have that in like Far Cry. It's the same like all the disgusting sounds and stuff.
It's like, get that out of there. Just hover over it and click a button and it says, "Oh, you got a fur." It's like, I don't know. But are you guys excited for Red Dead 2?
I'm not. I didn't play Red Dead 1.
Oh, no, I totally get that.
I'll bring you over so we can break the game and play Texas Hold'em until we get millions and millions of dollars.
Let's say listen to this. They're listening to it right now.
We played it for like 48 hours straight. It was stupid. We beat the entire game in 2 days. We didn't do anything.
We go to the first town. We're like, where's the gambling hall? I have a problem. They're like, the world is going to end. I need to play some Texas Hold'em. Yeah,
the starting $100 they give you or something. You're like, I got to put it all down right now.
Well, or you were talking earlier about breaking games and stuff and about using skill. The problem with that game was it's not a Texas Hold'em game, right? So it's not built for Texas Hold'em players. Right. It's built for people to play
casually.
Casually play Texas Hold'em.
It's this side. It's a mini game,
right?
And so when you take people and you put that actually know how to play that game, and at the time it was me and Evan, right, who both played that Texas Hold'em like constantly.
Well, Evan would like name out, like, you watch like
he was calling percentages.
Yeah, he's calling percentages out. He's like, that's a 44%. I'm like,
wow.
Yeah. Whoa.
Evan's crazy. Watched Rounders like 47,000 times,
which apparently makes you an expert.
Yeah, it does. I lived with that guy for a while.
But
we watched Rounders like every night.
It's a great movie. Why wouldn't you?
I'm studying.
But so Evan and David and I sat and we just killed this Texas Hold'em minigame. But honestly, because it's already a broken system.
It's not meant to be. It's not set on hard. It's set on easy, right?
Like Kings again, man. Look at this game. It's amazing. So how'd you guys eat? Did you guys get Domino's? Watch this. This is called the segue.
Okay.
Did you guys get Domino's?
Domino's pizza?
To eat for the 48 hours?
What are you talking about? Oh,
You
for
said
our
you played
48
for 48
hour,
hours.
For our 48 hour
did we eat
Red
Domino's?
No, because there's an
Redemption.
announcement about Domino's that they're trying to make a Domino's robot car
I saw this in Australia.
that delivers your pizza.
Yeah, it's awesome.
What?
Yeah.
It's a drone.
It's a
Oh,
drone.
that's cool.
And it's like automated and it delivers your pizza for you. In
What
Australia.
kind of car is it? Is it like a little tiny car?
Yeah,
or
it's like
is,
a
it,
little drone. Yeah.
is it shaped like a pizza?
No.
I'm not sure. Is it? It's not.
It's a
I thought it was
flying or is it
wheels.
driving?
No, it's driving. It's got
Driving.
4 wheels on it, and it has like a little oven thing on the top. You just take it
And you just take your pizza?
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I was like, that's awesome. I
They're
can't
rolling
wait.
around Australia right now.
They're like, people were like outraged, like you're never gonna interact with people again. I'm like, great. I was like, I
one
can't.
likes
the
doing
worst
that
part
anyway.
of my
Like,
day.
this is gonna be awesome. I don't have to feel crappy about not giving them a tip. You know,
Robots. Robot.
I'm like, robot, you're
Just stands
good.
That's funny.
So yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff. I just like I like the robot. I feel like whenever I'm not around, you guys have like my favorite conversations.
what
You're
we
like,
do.
Jordan's not here. Let's talk about robots and
Talk about
Marvel.
Boston Dynamics and stuff. Right?
I'm like,
Oh,
awesome.
speaking, we did talk about the Boston Dynamics. Google sold them.
Alphabet technically is the company
Yeah.
name, but
Well,
they're looking
yes.
on selling Boston Dynamics.
Yeah, and I think they've talked about like how kind of they've getting a lot of pushback. Like people are like they look super.
They don't.
creepy.
They don't generate revenue. Right, obviously, it's just a research,
Yeah,
branch.
of course.
And they are getting a lot of people that are like,
Please stop hitting
building
the
things-
robots.
Well, not just that. You're building things to get rid of human jobs. So
Right.
it's-
Google
and,
is Skynet.
And Alphabet or Google is one of those companies where it's like we do no evil. That's their tagline. So
Is this
Yeah.
the company with the robot that picks up the boxes?
Yeah, that's what we
and
talk about, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see the one with the woman's face? It's like, I
Oh,
want to have children one day.
oh yeah, I have seen that one where it's like like a prosthetic looking face.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when he's walking through the snow. I think his name is Atlas. I think
Yeah.
is the robot we talked about. It's just too creepy. Like don't
Like
shoot.
somebody's like, whoa, whoa,
Yeah,
whoa,
don't
whoa.
shoot him coming out of the snow from a forest. Like that's how they come out.
I've seen those movies
Yeah,
before.
like you gotta show him in like a somewhere nice.
Have you guys-
well lit.
Put a party hat on him.
Yeah.
And make him look friendly.
Yeah, sombrero or something non-threatening.
Sombrero.
Like you know what I mean? Like don't put him in the snow like with like.
So many
Right,
jokes.
But
have you guys seen the DARPA like dog robot? That thing is crazy.
Are you talking about the Boston Dynamics one?
Is that Boston Dynamics?
Yeah, they have the
I've-
Atlas, and then
yeah,
they have
like
the 4-legger.
runs.
They're
Yeah.
developing
Oh,
it
is
for the
that-
army and stuff.
Yeah, I thought it was done by DARPA, but I don't really.
I'm sure DARPA's looking into it.
Then another one, it was like walking through an office hallway and people were just kicking it.
Yeah, and it just falls over, and then like I saw it like walking like. and
People need to stop abusing these robots.
Yeah, that's what I said.
In a parking lot, it was like.
Or
Going
at least
around,
stop
and then
filming it.
There was like a curb, and I was like, "Oh, the curb," and it's just like no problem.
Yeah,
like,
got
it's
it.
just like complete. I'm like, wow, this is a problem.
I mean, it's cool, but it's like
And they can run like 35 miles an hour. I'm like, can you imagine this robot dog chasing you down? Like,
With its
this is-
backward leg.
Yeah, right. Just like one leg's gone and it like adjusts and starts just running faster because it lost the weight. It doesn't even care. Yeah.
oh man, movies. The movie industry has ruined it. But
Speaking of movies, was that a segue?
yeah, that was a segue.
Okay, cool.
Did you have something else about robots before we jump on
Well,
it?
there were some. It's okay. We can.
Okay, what do we got? Movies. Rated R?
News, everyone.
Rated
Movie
R.
news.
Yes.
So a lot of theaters are coming together now where they are banning kids 6 and under from rated R movies. Period.
Even if you have an adult.
Even if you have an adult.
What if I get the guy in front of me to buy
Okay.
my ticket? That's what we used to do.
So
when
the
we were
things,
kids.
Alamo was the one that kind of brought these things together, and Regal are the two companies right now. Regal's obviously huge.
Yeah.
I think they're the biggest theater chain in the country. Anyway, they're banning 24 hours. Any showing, radar showing, if you have a kid 6 or older, GTFO. You're not going to watch this movie. AMC and
I think
Cinemark
it's
only.
posted in front of the theater. GTFO. 6 and under GTFO.
AMC and Cinemark ban only for showings after 6 p.m. But
Okay.
the reason why they did this, I mean, we all talked about it. We saw Deadpool and we kind of complained about this. Or
Well, you were saying last time we went to go
yeah,
see.
we went to go see 10 Cloverfield
Cloverfield
Lane.
Lane.
There was parents with their 3 or 4 year olds walking into a Deadpool streaming or
screening.
screening. Yes.
Got it.
And I'm like, must be the worst parents in the world.
But here's the deal: it's their business as far as that's concerned. I think they need to just do it like they do it on the cruise lines with the pools, where there's like an adult pool and a kid pool.
As long as they're not in the same theater as the adults.
Right, because it's right, because like if you don't have kids, you don't want to have to. Like, I think it's more because I don't want to hear your 6-year-old. Like
That's
I'm
why they
trying
got a
to
lot of
enjoy the
complaints about
movie. Like I don't want to hear your 0 to 6-year-old. Not that I care about how you decide to raise your kid.
Right.
I just don't want to be bothered by it.
You know what
So if you had theaters specifically for them,
Brendan Theaters does that. I
run
think.
that all day.
Yeah, but they're not gonna. Yeah, they may have like kids' nights or something. Where
Well, no,
you
they
do
have
that.
adult theaters where they have cocktail waitresses and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Well, they go the other way.
But we're talking about like I know they have like nights where you can bring your kids. I think I saw that in the article that they're thinking about doing that. But overall, because they're not going to reserve a whole screening.
Do they call
for
it
people
bad
with
parent
kids.
night? They're
They
like,
should.
bad parents. Bad parents, we got a night for you. Come on down.
They should, but like I don't have kids, so I can't really relate to that. Like I get it. Like you really want to see this rated R movie, and you can't get find a babysitter.
Yeah.
Like I get that, but maybe you should just not go see the movie with sex scenes and vulgarity and super hard violence and all that kind of stuff.
I think it's the violence that I have the biggest problem with. Like it's just
Yeah, but at a certain
it's
young
gratuitous
age,
to the point
they're
where
not
you
even.
have
They're not
no
even.
idea.
if the kid can walk into the theater, they're too old to go see that.
yeah, if they're 5 or 6,
too young,
like they
too
can
young.
figure it out. But I'm saying I'm thinking maybe a potential solution for this is this movement with VR, right? The VR headsets. So you bring your kid and you're like, here, wear this, and it's going to show you and have headphones or like a
You
headset.
can watch Zootopia.
Yeah, no, I'm being honest. I actually think that might because then at least your kid's sitting next
For that
to you.
part, but it's still a distraction. Like I don't want to watch this anymore. Throw the headset on the floor and
Well, that's
start
just a
screaming.
jerk kid. That's
How
just
awesome would that be though if movie theaters in the future there was no screen and you just went and sat next to a bunch of people
Everybody
and you all
brought
wore
their own.
headsets and you
what
just
it's
watched
gonna
whatever
be,
movie
popcorn
you
next to
wanted,
them.
and it didn't matter
And
what
it
movie.
started whenever you sat down.
No, one of the VR demonstrations, I swear to you, is they put it on and you are sitting in a chair and you're watching a movie screen.
I think that was your
That's
pitch
sad.
test or whatever.
No, but people do it. They do it. What they were saying, one of the big things they want to do with VR is take you to places. So, like, you can see, like, the Niagara Falls and you can walk around and you can look down. So, what's different than, it's just a movie. It's an attraction. I don't
Yeah,
see-
but if I'm in VR, sitting in a
No,
seat,
no.
seeing people's heads and stuff, it's like, I don't care about it.
Wouldn't that be awesome,
be
too, if they,
funny.
have the kid kicking you? It's like force feedback. Yeah, that would be funny.
You're screaming in the background. You're like, oh, come on.
They got to figure out something. I think,
Just don't let them in.
yeah, but it's
They figured it out.
And you know what's interesting? This normally isn't a big problem because, rated R movies generally don't make the kind of revenue that Deadpool did. Like, Deadpool actually is a huge deal. Like, it's a great
They
movie.
mentioned Deadpool in this article.
No,
with a big
specific by
reason
name
why.
because it is making a ton of money. Like more than it's going to make. I think it's already made more than, what was the last X-Men? Days of Future Past? It made more than that.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Overall?
so. Yeah, I think
wow,
so.
That's huge.
That's what I'm saying. So yeah, they've got to figure out something because
Just stop being bad parents.
There is
If
a
you can't
cool.
find a babysitter, don't go see the movie.
This actually transitions into one of the other cool things that
Okay.
came out. At the
parents.
SXSW Interactive Innovation Awards.
South by Southwest.
Yes, South by Southwest.
Or SXSW.
Yeah, that's what it's.
I think South by Southwest rolls off the tongue way easier.
Whatever.
Go ahead.
Either way, they have these new earbuds that they're basically like a microphone in a headset. A microphone and a speaker.
Yeah.
Put it in your ears. It takes everything that comes in, and you can equalize things out, and you can cancel out the crying babies, just those frequencies.
super creepy.
You can change. You can actually change people's voices and stuff like that to
That's
make it
cool
sound
and
weird.
weird.
Sound
But
like
that's
James
a
Earl
solution
Jones.
because then you don't have to hear the 6-year-olds because you could just cancel. You're like
Before
talking to
the
this
movie starts,
microphone.
Before this, can you scream in my ear really quick before the movie starts so I can tone you out later on? Thanks.
Exactly.
Be awesome. But I was also thinking, how cool would that be with the language translation?
That would be
the
amazing.
first
That's
step,
the
the
next
language
step,
translation.
yeah.
Because I just feel that you could just talk and it'll just
The
translate.
UN would buy that contract really quick.
Oh man, it'd be so amazing.
Well, it's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Right,
he
the
takes the
worm.
thing and sticks it in his ear, and give it a
that's
second,
right.
and now you can learn every language. That's
Right.
that's
But
super
we're
cool.
on our way. Like that is a really cool technology.
Yeah, that is super. Every translator's like, no,
Right?
Out of a
We just
job.
made you completely invaluable.
no. They make a ton of money, like a ton.
Sign
like,
language
oh, I
people
know.
are like still strong bitches.
until the robot does it.
Yeah, that's true.
They're the ones that are like fire Boston Dynamics. What was one of the other things? Movie news you had a bit here.
Indiana Jones 5 was confirmed.
Why?
Because they can't end on that other movie that we won't need to really talk about. But yeah, Harrison Ford and Spielberg are back. Comes out 2019.
One of those is the problem.
I don't think Spielberg is the. I think it was Lucas.
Yeah, it's definitely
Was it
Lucas.
Lucas?
Lucas?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
Lucas
listening
is
to
the
this other
problem.
movies podcast.
I feel bad for Lucas. I mean, he
He's
gets.
such-
He's like.
off his rocker, man.
Well, see,
I
like
know.
Spielberg's great, right? But I was listening on this other movie podcast. They were like, if there's one person who convinced Spielberg against his own genius, it's George Lucas. So as long as he's not involved,
Gotcha.
it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, it's sad that Lucas gets so much flack. I mean, he creates.
he deserves it.
Yeah,
He does.
I know.
I mean, he's the one who's like, I will do all the prequels myself. I don't want any help. I got this, and they're terrible. There's only one person to blame.
Right.
But didn't you say he didn't do? He just did the first one.
No, he did. He directed all of the
New
prequels.
Hope. Yeah,
he did New Hope.
Prequels he did.
Right.
himself.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. God.
But the problem that I had with the last one, there's a lot of problems with it, but
monkeys swinging around. That scene.
fridge.
Yeah.
Oh, the fridge. That was
That was terrible.
Or the whole premise of the movie, maybe.
Yeah, the alien skull.
Aliens, that's a big one too.
Shia LaBeouf.
I can.
He actually wasn't that bad in it. Shiloh, but
he was just
Shia LaBeouf, whatever.
Shia LaBeouf.
Just do it.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
No, but when my wife told me, she's like, they're making another Indiana Jones movie. I said, so they got Chris Pratt. And she goes, no, they got Harrison Ford. I'm like, really? Like, really?
I almost think they're going to be like, they're going to make a fifth one and just like the fourth never happened.
Is he going to just die in all these movies?
He's got to die. He has to die, right?
All of the great characters, he has to end them. He's like, I only do the movie if you kill me. He probably
Spoiler alerts, everybody.
Oh, come on. It's coming out in April on DVD and Blu-ray.
Oh my God, yeah. If
I'm just saying.
You're not watching it if you haven't seen it. But
Yeah.
I'm just
come
saying.
on.
But I think I'm excited. I love Indiana Jones. But I hope it's the same problem. Maybe they learn, just like they did with Episode 7, Star Wars Episode 7, what not to do and what to do. Like, what makes a good
Give the
Indiana
fans
Jones
what they
movie?
want, right.
But
Get
here's-
George Lucas out of it.
No, but here, since we're on this topic, what would you guys like to see in a new Indiana Jones? Like, what are some of the things that you would want and not want? I think
A little Asian boy.
Do not
short
want
round. Short round.
Cover your heart, Indy. Cover your heart.
No, I think the one thing that they have to avoid, and I don't know if they're going to do it, is don't prep a new Indiana Jones. Don't
They have to.
Right.
Don't do
They're
that.
going to. They have
but
to.
they don't have
They
to.
tried doing that with Shia. That didn't
Right,
work
that's
out.
what
That's
I
why.
don't
That's
do
what
it.
we're saying. Don't do that.
They
Just
have to.
Don't.
It's
You
called
don't-
making money in franchises.
Make a reboot, but you don't have to have this stopgap in between of
It's
like.
not a reboot because
I know it's
Indiana
not.
Jones is back.
I'm saying
He's
the
saying
next
after that.
one. Make
He's
a
saying,
reboot.
don't make a 6. Make a the Indiana Jones. It was
I almost wouldn't want that.
Indiana
they
Jones.
do when they rebooted.
I almost don't want that. I'd rather have a continuation of like this canon, I guess you can say, with
Why?
not a new Indiana Jones, but like someone who's taking his torch, than a reboot. Because I hate reboots when like the old ones are better. You can't make those any better. They're
no,
perfect
I know.
movies.
The problem is
You
then
do a
they,
prequel where he's just playing with the dog
he's little
that he's
Indy.
named after.
But I want them. The big things that they've got to hit on is like I love the tomb raiding. Like before Lara Croft. Lara Croft did it. I want that. I want puzzles. I want thinking. I want
Yeah,
a
same here.
point and click adventure type of puzzles, and I want. I want adventure. I want, you know what I mean? Like those types of movies were such a great roller coaster that they in fact made a roller coaster after the movie. That's perfect. Like just go ride that ride like 100 million times and then make a movie right immediately after. You'll get it.
I can tell you what I don't want: aliens.
Yeah.
yeah.
The other Indiana Jones movies were over the top, not
I'm
really
like,
believable, but they walked that line.
supernatural.
I don't
Yeah.
think
between
that
historical.
Aliens is any crazier than the crypt thing that they open and
that's what I'm
everyone's
saying.
faces get melted off
Ark
and
the
stuff.
Covenant, yeah.
But
I'm
they
just
did-
saying they're not above that.
But it
But
was
it's
cool.
based on reality. It's
Right.
based on something that
really
existed.
You open a box and faces
Well, it was
melt
based
off?
on the Ark of
Ark,
the
you
Covenant.
No, but the point is like the Holy Grail, existed. Let's not get into that, but you know what I mean?
Right.
It's an item
These are real
of
historical artifacts
right.
that people have.
right.
Crystal Skull is not a historical real world artifact.
didn't
I
hear the
understand, but in my opinion, the religion's
are,
just
but-
as crazy as
Let's
the
not get into
alien
that.
stuff.
But that's my point. But I think it just needs to be. It doesn't have to be. It could be something fantastical, something that they make up. But you have to have where he takes something and then he blows all the dust off of it.
Do you want to see
know?
all the same stuff?
No,
Yes,
no,
that's what we wanted from Star
You
Wars.
gotta take this and it's like, woo.
no, it doesn't have to be the exact. But adventures,
Rolling from like a cube instead of a ball.
A cube. That'd be so
Sliding
slow.
down.
Steps.
Click. He's
Did
like,
not
wow, that was
predict
way
this,
easier. Like, these guys are really bad trap makers.
That's the other thing. Whenever I watch all those movies and play all these games like Tomb Raider, I'm like, man, they had whoever's the trap maker, like they put a lot of like energy in.
This rope and pulley system and
It's gonna
fire
be-
and spikes lasted how many hundreds
and-
of years sitting?
And who resets it, for the next Tomb Raider?
Someone gets a page. Ah, crap! Someone trapped the mine. Gotta go back. I'm on call,
like,
guys. I gotta go
pushing
reset the spike trap.
pushing that huge ball back up the hill. Like, I
Putting the
hate
darts
this.
back in the hole.
And you know what? It didn't work the very first time. It like rolled halfway and then got stuck. They're like, oh, we gotta dig it out a little bit more. So yeah, I want them to do that. I want a jungle. I want a sand scene. I want dunes.
I want. There's going to be all that, because, like you said, was like Star Wars. They know what they did wrong, but they're going to continue this.
Then bring Chris Pratt.
I hate snakes.
You're not going to.
I love that.
You're going to have a younger guy who's like Indiana Jones. Either is going to die in the middle of the movie, or is going to get severely injured, and he's just talking through the other guy through the rest. of the movie.
We can't have Chris Pratt in every single.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Here's the deal: what's going to happen is he's going to die, and then we're going to
Jesus,
lose like
so many
every
franchises.
movie. Yeah, we can't put all our eggs in one basket. I love him too, everybody, but come on, he's one airplane accident away from ruining our childhoods. Like, we can't have anything else.
All right, we'll give some to the guy that does Thor.
Okay, there you go.
Chris Hemsworth and
Chris Hemsworth, that's
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get him to be.
We'll split it.
All right.
They're not allowed to travel together.
I just appreciate that we have some good actors that we can enjoy in these action movies. Because for a while in Hollywood, it was just
Arnold.
We had Arnold. We had great action heroes when we were growing up, right? But then there was a period in Hollywood where you looked around and you were like, the action heroes we grew up with were kind of old, and every new face in Hollywood sucked. They were just like these really young, teeny
Muscle-bound,
They were doing teeny bopper movies, a lot of that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to a point where I was like, where are these people that I'm going to enjoy watching movies in the next 10, 15 years? And finally they're showing up. It's not just a bunch of, the Lord of the Rings people don't hate me for this, but what's his name that did Legolas?
Orlando Bloom.
God, stop it.
Oh yeah, he was in a lot of movies.
He's in your favorite movie ever.
Yeah, he was in Pirates.
He was in Pirates. Pirates was an
Pirates.
excellent movie. But you see what I mean? He's not somebody that's going to be carrying action movies for the next 10, 15 years. He was in some good flicks, but they weren't because Orlando Bloom was in them.
He was like...
So you're saying who's going to make Expendables 10?
Thank you.
Hopefully nobody.
It's not going to be Orlando Bloom.
Movies are terrible.
No, I was actually talking to Jordan about this. I think I was talking to you about it. It's interesting to see, classically trained actors like Cumberbatch being Doctor Strange. Those are usually the Marvel movies are the
Everyone's
B
jumping to
actors.
He's
that,
awesome.
That comic book train.
No,
man.
but I
It's
get
the only
it
thing
that-
that makes money.
Yeah, but they're
anymore.
not just money makers. They're good, objectively good movies with
They
good
can be.
acting. No, but I'm saying Robert Redford was in Civil War and wasn't even a big part. And he was fantastic. Or not Civil War. He was in Winter Soldier.
Some boat movie. He has to be in a comic book movie to make any money.
I know, but it's interesting. Usually actors. Everyone's a prima donna in Hollywood. They're like, well, I don't do action movies. I don't do.
Sam Jackson did it. That made it legit.
I don't know. Sam Jackson has done some other strange movies too, though. But
What are you talking about? Snakes on a Plane was a
Phantom
masterpiece.
Menace.
Thank you.
anyways, all right. I think we've gone long enough. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something else, and then I was like, yeah, I gotta go.
All right. So you can always check out our podcast if you're listening to the audio version. Go to YouTube, check out our beautiful faces.
Or not.
Do it. You can also.
Sweat drip down our brows.
Yeah, I know, man. It's a little warm in here.
Oh,
with
it's
all
love
these
in
people.
here.
But you can also go on to SoundCloud. We put our audio podcast on SoundCloud as well as Stitcher Radio.
Stitcher.
Is it working?
Stitcher is the way. It's back, and it's so much better than SoundCloud. I'm sorry.
Or you can go on iTunes. Leave us a review on iTunes. We always ask at the end of the podcast. And if you have any questions, if you want us to review something or check it out, you can always get in touch with us at...
sitdownstandard@gmail.com.
Brandon, what is the email address?
I have no idea.
Oh, well, it's better than what Jordan's going to say.
Standard at Yahoo.
Yeah.
These Petersons, man.
Oh, never again. No, I'm just
Nice.
kidding. All right. Until next time. Bye.
See ya.
Later.
Really? At the same time?
Hey, we're brothers.